Sani Abacha was a Nigerian officer and politician who ruled as a military head of state after seizing power in 1993 until his death in 1998. Abacha's seizure of power was the last successful coup d'etat in the Nigerian military history. Abacha served as Chief of Army Staff from 1985 to 1990, as Chief of Defense Staff from 1990 to 1993, and as Minister of Defense. Abacha is noted for having been the first military army officer to attain the rank of full military general without skipping a single rank. His rule saw the achievement of several economic feats and also recorded human rights abuses and several political assassinations. He has been dubbed a kleptocrat and a dictator by several modern commentators. He was succeeded as Nigeria's head of state by Abubakar Abdulsalami. Abacha was born and brought up in Kano. He attended the Nigerian Military Training College in Kaduna and was commissioned in 1963 after he had attended the Morse Officer Cadet School in Aldershot, England. Abacha was involved in all military coups in Nigeria during his military career. In 1966, when he was still a second lieutenant with the 3rd Battalion in Kaduna, he took part in July 1966 Nigerian counter-coup. From the conceptual stage, he could well have been a participant in Lagos or Abeokuta phases of coup the previous January as well. In 1969, he fought during the Nigerian Civil War as a platoon and battalion commander. He later became commander of the 2nd Infantry Division in 1975. In 1983, Abacha was general officer commanding of the 2nd Mechanized Division and was appointed a member of the Supreme Military Council. In 1983, Abacha played a prominent role in 1983 Nigerian coup d'etat, which brought General Muhammadu Buhari to the power, and the 1985 Nigerian coup d'etat, which removed Buhari and brought General Ibrahim Babangida to the power. When General Ibrahim Babangida was named president and commander-in-chief of Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1985, Abacha was named Chief of Army Staff. He was later appointed Minister of Defense in 1990. Sani Abacha was commissioned as second lieutenant in 1963, promoted to the lieutenant in 1966, 1967 promoted to captain, 1969 promoted to major, 1972 promoted to lieutenant colonel, 1975 promoted to full colonel, in 1980 promoted to brigadier general, in 1994 promoted to major general, in 1987 to lieutenant general, and in 1990 became a full general. Seizure of power. Abacha was the defense minister and most senior official within the military hierarchy. During the crisis of the Third Republic, he orchestrated the coup d'etat of 1993, which overthrew the interim national government and annexed Sonekan. In his nationwide broadcast, Abacha portrayed the overthrow as an act of stability brought about through the socio-political uncertainties caused by the 1993 presidential elections. As head of state, Abacha ruled as head of state and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Federal Republic of Nigeria from 1993 to 1998. In September 1994, he issued a decree that placed his government above the jurisdiction of the courts, effectively giving him absolute power. Another decree gave him the right to detain anyone for up to 3 months without trial. He further abrogated Decree 691 of 1993. Abacha assembled a personal security force of 3,000 men trained in North Korea. Abacha's chief security officer Hamza al-Mustafa had a iron grip on the apparatus of military security. The Nigerian police force underwent a large-scale retraining. The state cracked down ruthlessly on crimes and dissidents. The National Democratic Coalition was attributed with several bombings across the country, and several members were arrested. When Moshood Abiola proclaimed himself president, he was jailed for treason and subsequently died in custody. Also, former military ruler Olusegun Obasanjo was jailed for treason and accused of plotting a coup together with General Olapido Dia. In 1997, General Shehu Yaradoa, who was also died in custody. Abacha's regime was accused of human rights abuse, especially after the hanging of Ogoni activist Ken Saro-Wiwo, only one of several executions of Ogoni activists opposed to the exploitation of Nigerian resources by the multinational petrol company Royal Dutch Shell, whose death led to the eviction of Nigeria from the Commonwealth nations. Wole Soyinka was charged in absentia with treason. Abacha's regime suffered opposition externally by pro-democratic activists. Abacha's administration oversaw an increase in the country's foreign exchange reserves from 494 million USD in 1993 to 9.6 billion USD by the middle of 1997, and reduced the external debt of Nigeria from 36 billion USD in 1993 to 27 billion USD by 1997. Abacha also constructed between 25 and 100 kilometers of urban roads in major cities such as Kano, Gusau, Benin, Funtua, Zaria, Enugu, Kaduna, Aba, Lagos, Lokoja, and Port Harcourt. Abacha brought the privatization program of the Ibrahim Babangida administration to the halt, reduced an inflation rate of 54% inherited from Ernest Shoneck to 8.5% between 1993 and 1998, all while the nation's primary commodity oil was at the average of 15 USD per barrel. GDP growth, despite being estimated to be higher than the 2.2% growth in 1995, was largely limited to the petroleum sector. The unprecedented economic achievements coincided with the rapid expansion of investment hitherto unseen in the history of corruption in Nigeria. In the alleged saga known as Abacha Lot, Abacha's national security advisor, Alhaji Ismaila Gwarzo, was accused by the government of President Olusegun Obasanjo to have played a central role in routing and transfer of money to overseas accounts. Abacha's son, Mohamed Abacha, and best friend Alhaji Mohamed M. Assad were also involved. A preliminary report published by the Abdulsalami Abubakar transitional government in November 1998 described the process. The report mentioned that Sani Abacha told Ismaila Gwarzo to provide fake national security funding requests, which Abacha approved. The funds were usually sent in cash or travelers' checks by the Central Bank of Nigeria to Gwarzo. He took them to Abacha's house. Mohamed Saad then arranged to launder the money to offshore accounts and estimated 1.4 billion USD in cash was delivered in this way. In 2004, a list of 10 most self-enriched leaders in the previous 2 decades was released in order of amount allegedly stolen. The fourth ranked of those was Abacha and his family, who are alleged to have embezzled 1 billion USD to 5 billion USD. In 2002, fourth rumors circulated that Abacha's family perpetuated arranged to return 1.2 billion USD. Sources in Obasanjo administration disclosed that the whole Abacha route was politicized by the administration for his re-election bid. On 7 August 2014, the United States Department of Justice announced the fortune of USD 480 million, the largest in its history, to the Nigerian government. Jazz discovered more than 267 pounds, the US pounds million dollars in funds that were allegedly rounded through the US banking system and deposited in Jazz account. 210 million pounds in British pound, the US Justice Department, Jazz courts, and the government of Nigeria completed a civil asset fortune against the funds, and they will be divided between those countries. Abacha oversaw the organization of Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones in order to reflect cultural, economic, and political realities of the region. North Central, Benue State, Kogi State, Kwara State, Nasarawa State, Niger State, Plateau State, and the Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria. Northeast, Adamawa State, Bauchi State, Borno State, Gombe State, Taraba State, and Yobe State. Northwest, Jigawa State, Kaduna State, Kano State, Katsina State, Kebbi State, Sokoto State, and Zamfara State. Southeast, Abia State, Anambra, Ebonyi State, Enugu State, and Imo State. South, Akwa Ibom State, Bayelsa State, Cross River State, Delta State, Edo State, and River State. Southwest, Ekiti State, Lagos State, Ogun State, Ondo State, Osun State, and Oyo State. Abacha held a constitutional conference between 1993 to 1995. Early in 1998, Abacha announced that elections would be held on 1 August with a view towards handing power to a civilian government on 1 October. It later became apparent that Abacha had no intention of relinquishing power. By April 1998, Abacha had asked the country's five political parties into endorsing him as the sole presidential candidate. Foreign policy. In 1995, following the execution of Ken Saro-Wiwa, Nigeria was suspended from Commonwealth of Nations. While hosting Nelson Mandela, Abacha admitted he was advised against interfering with Saro-Wiwa's trial, but made assurance that he would use his rank in government to commute the sentence if the sentence was pronounced. Justice Ibrahim Auta was the judge presiding over the proceedings and sentenced Sao Wiwa to death by hanging. Abacha did not commute the sentence. In 1997, Muammar Gaddafi's West African tour to Sani Abacha to mark the new Islamic year directly infringed the United Nations sanction on Libya. Yet he was greeted by thousands of Abacha's supporters who came out to demonstrate their loyalty in Kano. Libya leader made no commitments to Nigeria but merely sought to strengthen relations with the country. Many saw the visit as a way to strengthen his agenda of Pan-Africanism. Abacha intervened in the Liberian civil war through the Economic Community of West African State Monitoring Group. Abacha sent troops to Liberia to fight against rising insurgency in the country and political tensions. The civil war, which began in 1989, saw an influx of Nigerian troops from 1990 when Abacha was defense minister. Despite being reportedly condemned by the U.S. State Department, Abacha did have a few ties to American politics. In 1997, Senator James Inhofe Oklahoma traveled to Nigeria to meet with Abacha as a representative of the family, a group of evangelical Christian politicians and civil leaders. Abacha and the family had a business and political relationship from that point until his death. Abacha also developed ties with other American political figures such as Senator Carol Moseley Blount, Reverend Jesse Jackson, and Minister Louis Farrakhan. Several African American political leaders visited Nigeria during his reign, and Farrakhan supported his administration. On 8th June 1998, Abacha died in Aso Rock Presidential Villa in Abuja. He was buried on the same day according to Muslim tradition and without an autopsy, fueled speculation that he may have been assassinated. The government identified the cause of death as a sudden heart attack. It is believed by foreign diplomats, including United States intelligence analysts, that he may have been poisoned. His chief security officer, Hamza al-Mustaf, believed he was poisoned by Israel's operatives in the campaign of Yasser Arafat, and at his death he was about to transfer power to a civilian government in October 1998, implemented in October 1995. After Abacha's death, Governor General Abdulsalami Abubakar became head of state, whose short tenure ushered the first Nigerian Republic into existence. Abacha was married to Mariam Abacha and had seven sons and three daughters. He became a grandfather posthumously. As of 2018, he had 33 grandchildren. In summary, General Sani Abacha GCFR was 10th head of state of Nigeria in office 17th October 1993 to 7 June 1998. Chief of General Staff was Oladipo Dia, preceded by Ernest Shonekan, succeeded by Abubakar. He was the Minister of Defense in office from August 1992 to 17 November 1993, preceded by Barry Domkat, succeeded by Oladipo Dia, Chief of Staff in office August 1985 to August 1990, preceded by Ibrahim Babangida, succeeded by Salihu Ibrahim. Personal details: born 20th September 1943, Kano North Region, British Nigeria. Died 8th June 1998, age 54, State House, Abuja, Nigeria. Cause of death: unnatural death alleged. Political party: none, because he was military. Spouse: Mariam Abacha. Children including Ibrahim Mohammed, Abba, Mahmoud, Sadiq, Zainab, Fatima, Gums, Rakia, Abdullahi, Mustafa. Allegiance: Nigeria. Branch: Nigerian Army. From 1963 to 1998, years of service. At the rank of General. Thank you very much for being with us today. Focused about the late former Nigerian President General Sani Abacha. Thank you for being with us and watch other videos about Africa and Nigeria especially. Thank you very much and see you.